Conscious Collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, change makers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily. And we are the Conscious Collaboration Podcast. Today, we have a guest. I want to say this guest needs no introduction. I'm going to introduce him anyway, because he's my good friend. He's been on with us once before. His name's Shahar Kovetz. Hey.
Hello, everyone. Actually, I've been on the first one.
Yeah. You've been on multiple podcasts with me.
My name goes ahead of me at this point.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Tai Chi guy of St. Pete.
The Tai Chi guy of St. Pete.
Yeah.
So happy to have you here, Shahar.
Happy to be here. It was funny because it was coincidence.
It was coincidence. Well, there's no coincidences, are there?
Well, let's just tell the story for everybody so they're not in the dark.
So what had happened was Shahar agreed a couple of weeks ago, and I did put it on my calendar to meet and hang out and catch up today. And as Lisa and I are getting ready to record, I'm hearing a tap, 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 tap on my window. And I'm like, who needs to know the yoga schedule so badly that they're just like banging on the window?
The yoga emergency.
The
yoga emergency.
I gotta get my glutes.
That's the thing. I put my little siren on. I'm like, here I come. No, but so then I get a message come across my phone. Hey, I'm here. And I'm like, oh, shit. So we have a built-in guest today, as it turns out. And I'm glad that we were just like talking for a full hour on decided to actually record, because that made it perfect timing and not at all a coincidence.
So what are we talking about today, gals?
Today we're going to talk about the concept of fear of success, right? So, and I've kind of felt this in my life in many different ways, and I've had conversations with people even recently kind of surrounding the same topic. So I guess we start with a working definition of success. I think that's going to be pretty subjective, but let's all give it a go. Shahar.
Yes. So to me, and not to sidetrack, but I think it's a good point to bring out. I think fear of success is the same as fear of failure, because the more we succeed, the more we're afraid to lose it.
That's it. Episode done.
So, we'll go back to that, but my definition of success is not necessarily about what you gain, because that's our default perspective on success. Is I got something, so I succeed. But that's what the yogis, they call it. That's an attachment, right? It's the attachment to the fruits of of your work. And the problem with that is, like I just said, the more you get it, the more you're afraid. I bought a new car. I see that every time I see someone with a very expensive car. My first thought is I would freak out every time I park that someone hits that thing. And so the more you gain, the more you're afraid to lose.
Yeah.
So to me, success is actually connected to failure, because failure is always inevitable. And the people who are best at something is people who failed the most, people who messed up the most. So to me, success is your return from failure. And the more you can do that, the more you can learn from your failures, you are successful. And success, in the end, every major success in the world is accumulated small wins over time. So there's no one big success. It's small wins after you came back from your failures.
I like
that's how I see
those. Lisa, what do you think?
Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful.
No pressure.
I love to listen to you talk. I feel so I talk a lot about that's amazing, Shahar. First of all, thank you for saying that. You gave me a lot to think about already. So I talk a lot about success and happiness in Feng Shui and in teaching my students. because it's something that we're success. It's elusive. It's defined differently by everybody. And it's linked and happiness might not be the right word, but it's linked with actualization. So like actualizing, embodying a goal. And again, that's very like broad and how it can be defined, and it's going to be different, but it's being able to, and it's linked with achievement, right? So success, being able to actualize a goal or a vision, an aim, or like a purpose. But yeah, I mean, it's like that duality. You immediately think of like, what am I going to lose in this? What am I going to lose in this success? Yeah. And so that's my answer. I don't really have a clear definition other than do a lot of talking about it in feng shui.
I love that definition. Actually,
I think that's a pretty good definition.
The embodiment of your vision. That's
the embodiment. Yeah.
Turning something from a thought into material. I think that's a great way to define success.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The studio was a thought.
It was
a long time ago.
It was.
We're sitting here.
Just a cartoon thought bubble.
Right.
And here we are.
Right.
And we just materialized you somehow. So
yeah, we did. You are our success.
Like a genie.
Yes,
you are.
Times, and here I am.
Shazam.
Emily, your definition of success.
Okay, so this is not completely original. I saw some variation of this on like Instagram at some point, and I was like, I like that. But my working definition of success is being able to do what you want to be doing for the majority of your time. And so when you expand out from that, that could involve different things for different people. A certain amount of resources or achievements of goals, in order to get yourself to a point. Because to me, doing what I want for the majority of the time largely involves me being in this room and being able to train and being able to train others and being able to do yoga and teach yoga and, live a decent quality life for myself and my daughter. And that feels very successful to me, but it does require a certain amount of resources and clients, to remain in that point.
Beautifully put. So why would we be afraid of that? Why are we afraid of achieving that?
Well, and I think a lot of times when we have this fear of success, it's not a conscious fear, right? Like most people, and even when you're kind of trying to check yourself on it, you're like, I'm not afraid of that. Like, that's what I want. But I guess it's kind of like, and not that I know this firsthand, but like the getting out of prison syndrome, like logically, of course you would want to have that freedom and get out of prison, but it's the fear of the unknown.
Right.
What's beyond that, it's the, I guess, attachment or memory or trauma of any time that you've achieved that success or a piece of it or a taste of it before and then been let down in some kind of way.
That's a great way.
Lost it, or it just, you go from super high to super low, and that memory stays with you, even at least subconsciously.
I love that. That's a great way to put it, because you said it beautifully right there. It's when you commit to something, like if I'm committing, I'm saying to myself, I have a vision. I have a way I want to live my life. What I consider to be successful. Let's say it's being married and have a successful business that I'm my own boss and everything. And it sounds very nice in my head, but as soon as I start doing that, suddenly I can't do stuff that single people do. Suddenly I have to go over bookkeeping. Suddenly I need to put myself out there on social media every time. So I lose a certain lifestyle. So that success means a change in your lifestyle. That success means a commitment to something new. It's like I want my relationship to succeed, but doing that means I gotta let go of something else. So it's like it's a commitment issue in the end, right? It's a fear of jumping into an unknown, which is I'm losing my old identity to a new one. So even if the new one is better by all metrics, it's the attachment to the old one that is very scary.
It's like being in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Even if the old way or the current way is clearly less desirable, you're comfortable there.
Right.
And you're not failing there. You don't have that risk of failing there because you're already there.
So Lisa, how do we overcome this, Lisa?
Oh, well, let me just give you the recipe. And you know what, Emily, when you said like that feeling of when you're getting let out of jail and you're talking about success being linked with freedom, and on the other side, you know, you're saying, Shahar, too, it's, you know, on the other side of freedom. And then there's the losing of a previous self. I was thinking, well, first, Emily, I was thinking about that jail scenario too. It's like, I once had this cat named Vegas, and he grew up, like, I swear when I got him, he was raised in a cage. And when I brought him home, anything larger than a cage was like frightening to him. And even if I like let him outside, he wouldn't go anywhere. He would get down as close as he could to the earth and like glued to it. And so it's like when you're successful and you have that ultimate freedom, it's also can feel very oppressive and pressure because you're responsible for yourself and maintaining this. There's no one telling you what to do. And in this case, like only you know how you achieved or walked into this success. So it's a challenge in a way. And like you said, Shahar, like it's a shedding of yourself. I was then thinking, we move through life through these different setting of goals and intentions, and then adapting into a success in a new period of life. It's like we're choosing to walk through all of these doors or new versions of ourselves. And like sometimes you're like, no, I want back in. I went back into that door, but you can't go.
Well, yeah, it's really if you think about it, it's a very biological thing for us. It's that lizard brain. There's that caveman. You're in the cave and you're safe in the cave, but you can't get any food in the cave. Like you have to go out and get food. But if you get out, there's predators there. Once you get out of the cave, you can die. But if you stay in the cave and don't move, you will die. So the cave feels safe. Right, that cage feels safe, but you have to go out. So there's something biological between that competition in our mind between staying where we're comfortable, but and going out into the world and achieving what we want. But it puts us in a metaphorical danger.
Yes, yeah. So like before you walked in the door today, Shahar, Emily and I were divining of the I Ching just to get some pointers and things to talk about. And one of the things that came up, and of course, the energy that we pulled up immediately talked about success within the first sentence, and that returning, the energy of returning. And so we can talk a little bit more about that. But what came through in both of the energies that we pulled upon was the importance of rest and stillness. And even we always talk about the importance of meditation in our conversations here. And this reoccurs again, that ability to really rest and drum up the energy and the reserve so that you can own and embody this new self, this success.
Yeah, it talked a lot about sort of recharging your own battery. When we talk about grounding and things like that is what that reminded me of. And then the bit at the end about mind-body alignment that we're always talking about, literally aligning your spine so that the energy can flow, through your body in an optimal way, so that you can make decisions with clarity and move forward like that.
I can add to that.
Please do.
Yeah, I can add to that because I think that's a great point and something I've always found, and especially in our fields, which is a lot of body movement. It's the body-mind connection thing. So it's not just just in the mind. You're moving your body. And what I've learned is all the things we need to work on. For example, in yoga, I just had a conversation with a student. I told her, she asked me what she needs to work on in her practice. And I told her transitions from one posture into another. You rush into it, and then you lose a lot of the energy, like when you're not giving enough time for transition. And then she was telling me how she had a divorce. And so I said, oh, you're literally in a transition. And you need to allow yourself time to transition between one thing to another. So it really is beautiful how your practice is everything in your practice is manifested in your business as well, in your life. So if there's a problem in that practice, it will show up in your business.
You always used to tell me that in regards to Tai Chi and about holding in the fire energy, and how when you hold it in, it's just destructive internally. And you could tell that I was doing that in my life by the way I was doing Tai Chi.
Right. And in a way, the business is you.
Yeah, I mean,
a manifestation of
it
you.
is. Yeah.
Right? How much have you burned yourself out?
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what I was doing at that time. That was several years ago. I think in the first year. So that's exactly what I was doing in my personal life and, in my business. So true that.
So in a way, that's the thing. That would be so-called failure. Even it wasn't a failure. It's just something that was.
Yeah, it was me hesitating to successfully land that punch.
Right.
Because I was afraid to hurt somebody or whatever.
And it was also your comfort zone. But you went out of your comfort zone, and now you came back from that failure, and you're more successful than before.
And now I will touch your ass.
It's like it's like an immune system, right? It's like an immune system. The more it's exposed to it in a reasonable amount, then it develops that
I like
tough
that.
skin.
I like that. Just lick the dirt. Lick the dirt, and that is how you will be successful.
Nobody can sue us. We don't
This
suggest
is not
you go
medical
out.
advice.
This is not medical advice. We don't suggest you go out lick dirt.
Thank you for that disclaimer. I think that's important. Don't eat Tide Pod. I like that, Shahar. So like allowing yourself the time to transition. I like that you describe these manifestations that we see in our practices and in our bodies. And you're able to read that at this point. And I know, Emily, you probably see that too with your clients in training as well.
Holds different emotional states. Yeah.
Well, I think you were just saying, Emily, last time we were training together, you were like, whatever I failed on, it was like, that was just totally in my mind. It was.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I was trying to lift something, and I think, just
a bit fear of success from time. I guess anybody does, but in lifting. Yep. That's a way that I can totally see that playing out with you physically, and not always. You're amazing.
You're
like when it is, it's almost like you were afraid of landing that last rep, even though I knew by the rep before it that you totally had it in you. And I was back there spotting you, but you were like, no, can't do it.
So like the important thing though, is whenever I push through like something where I think I can't do it, and Emily will make me like Shahar. So Emily will make me hold the posture at the end, like lock it out. And that like is a way to program more confidence and like owning and embodying that success. So like
feel it. And then.
So question for you, Lisa, if I'm conducting the interview here.
Yes.
So I'm curious, what was it? What do you think now that you're in hindsight? Because there's a part of you that knew that you can push on more. And now you know it for sure because Emily saw it and you lived it. What do you think was it that stopped you from moving? Because this is probably what a lot of business owners feel like. I can get to the next level, but I feel this mental block. So in hindsight, what do you feel was that one line that you needed to break through?
It's so weird. So there's like these imaginary thresholds I think we attach to, like going back to that, like it was a number for me, like hearing like a little, even though it was like we're adding like little Cheerios to my weight.
Hey,
Even
those
just
are important.
yeah, like it's just this imaginary barrier or threshold that even just a little bit of a stretch, like hearing the number, I immediately like kind of just was like, oh, discounted myself.
But I haven't done that before. So
right.
it's kind of circling back to what Shahar was saying in the beginning, that it's really a fear of failure. And that's how that manifests often in lifting. Even though if you've failed that rep, right? Like I'm using air quotes. If you failed that rep, meaning you could not physically get it up in the air. It was an overhead press that we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
You could not get it up in the air. It's still not actually a failure in terms of lifting, because you've determined where your ceiling is, at least, on this day under these exact circumstances. You've determined where your ceiling is, and you still did, 7 reps before that or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So you just know where you are. But that idea that it would be better for me to just get these 7 reps than to try for the 8th rep and not get it. That fear, it's actually a fear of failure.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a good point that I said, and you repeated.
Right. I was circling back to that.
So what I love about that a lot, and I can add an extra layer to it, is, I know that from my own brother. He experiences that fear of success because he has always these great entrepreneurial ideas, but until he manifests them, they're all in the head, right? Mm-hmm. So you never really failed if it's just an idea. And even if you never did it, you said, oh, I could have been great. I could have been an awesome. So sometimes it's very comforting to be in that mindset of saying, oh, I could have been a great yoga teacher. I could have had my own business. I would have been awesome at it. And that lived in reality. But if I started doing that, I started feeling, I'm feeling mediocre. I feel like I'm not the best at this. Like I'm feeling I'm not really as good as I thought I am. Mm-hmm. So I'm facing that harsh reality of I'm new at this. I need to learn. I need to develop. I'm experiencing failure. I'm experiencing challenge and learning. But until I take the step to start my business, in theory, I haven't failed. I'm great.
Right.
But it's only when I start doing it, when I feel the experiences, that my ego goes, challenges.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as I thought.
I'm a beginner. I'm bad at this.
I'm bad at this. And I experience that in martial arts a lot. People don't like the feeling of not being good at something.
I've seen you post about that with your jiu-jitsu journey.
Yeah, because I was crappy at it. I was terrible at it. But that's the thing. Like, the fear of success. Actually, yeah, I did. I did pretty good. But
I know I've grappled with you.
but in the end, it's about embracing fear, embracing challenge, and not seeing it as an enemy, but seeing it as your best friend. And you hear every successful person in the world, everybody says the same thing. I'm not afraid of failure because that's where I learn.
Like, Michael Jordan is always like the prime example for that, because he failed like 1,000 times. Didn't make teams and sucked. And
he failed more at basketball than me. But I'm not better than Michael Jordan because I failed. He's better because he failed so much more.
I like that. I like that
Kobe Bryant
spin on it.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant said,
I'm not better because I failed.
Kobe Bryant said that he always watched himself play and saw his mistakes. And he said a lot of young players don't like that because you start seeing your mistakes, and it's that's the thing. You're afraid of not being as good as your image in your mind.
My daughter takes karate now, and she's latched on to this quote that one of her teachers says, and I love it too. She says, "A black belt is just a white belt who never gave up."
Yep.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
Is a little special kid.
She's a special kid.
She's too smart for her age.
I know it. I know
that so much. We need to get Olivia on here. giving us some advice, like the perspective of a child. I think how much a child fails on a daily basis, like everything is new.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
Like,
but with like, okay.
I was different.
And that makes me think that a lot of it too, I had this thought before, at least with some people, is programming from others' definition of success.
Right.
To where maybe we wouldn't really be bothered by, being bad at somebody, but what would so-and-so think, or what would everybody think?
I think it comes down to your identity, because even if you learn that you shouldn't fail, and if you got 95 points, keep focusing on the 5 points. It's more connected to an identity of who are you if you failed. If I failed, then I'm not my true potential. So if I'm not my true potential, I'm disappointing someone else. So I'm not a good son. I'm not a good daughter. I'm not a good student. I'm not a good. So it's really connected to an identity. Attaching your worth to whatever it is you're trying to succeed at. And to success is for fear of success would be the same, right? Because if I succeed, then I either gonna see myself as not as good as I thought I am, or I gained those 10, 20 students, and then I get really famous on podcasts like this, but then I have trolls. Oh no, all these trolls are going to come. Now I have a target on my back, so I don't want to succeed because I'm afraid of success will morph my identity, because then I'm facing things I'm not ready for, and that in the end, in order to be successful and break that line is well, more money, more problems, right? Yeah. Like, so just to break that line is love failure in a way. See it for what it is. Yeah. If you're seeking the lessons in your failure, then they're not failures. I think you're almost right. They're not failures. I think you're nearly guaranteed to succeed at a certain point if you keep doing that. Right. Failure is when you don't come back from it. I think you can apply that to relationships too. Yeah. People who, avoid getting emotionally close. What was it? That is that joke, right? Like, I don't understand what there's problems with. Why would my wife complain about our marriage? I haven't talked to her in years.
Yeah. That's true. It does show up as well in relationships and what you allow, whether it's personal, interpersonal, in love or whether it's even in working relationships too. There's that vulnerability factor. So you mentioned, Shahar, when you're successful, you're more visible. And it's kind of, and as you said, like, your business is a manifestation of you to some degree, and you will get those trolls and people saying that's not how we do it. And so then you're exposed. Yeah. Jinxies. I had that with my wife when she got her first troll online. She freaked out. It's like, oh my God, this person everybody sees their toxic stuff. And my reaction was, congratulations, love, your first troll. That means you're out there. That means when the trolls see you, that means you're out there. That's sure good. Does. That's right. When you get your first troll or someone copies you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she was shocked by it. But that's true. What if someone copies you and gets better, does it better than you, right? It's very easy to attach to that feeling of like a Jenga tower. Every time you pull one and it's successful, you're closer to it being collapsing. Right there, you can have that attachment in your mind to that belief. And they're like, all right, I prefer not to pull anyone, any one of those. But that's a mistake in thought, because we're designed to make mistakes. That Jenga tower will fall and then you break it, you build it stronger. It will fall and then you bring it stronger. And that's, I think, the real human experience. Jenga. Well, wow. I love that. Jenga. Yeah. It is.
Jenga, the more you
Giant
play,
Jenga.
yeah, Jenga, the more you build it, the more it gets destroyed. So I'm thinking about more like a pyramid. Like it's just every structure is designed to support the top level.
Very cool.
This has been pretty good, guys. I feel like I'm ready to go make some mistakes today. How about you?
Great way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, like, just embrace it from the moment you wake up. Like, knowing you're going to be doing something new means you're a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, then you're in the right place. So thank you. I love that yogi perspective being brought in today, Shahar. Anything else you guys want to add to the discussion?
I don't think so.
I guess that one thing on the yogi, I can do a short blurb on that.
Blurb it.
Yeah, because the yogis, they talk about attachments, right? So the more you succeed, the more you are afraid to lose. So what is success from perspective of yogis? The yogis would say it would be spiritual liberation. So if I translate it to more like mundane, like daily life terms, it would be success is that if you got a little better at where you want to go. So if you're stepping towards your goal, you're succeeding. If you're stepping away from it, that would be failure. So if you're, as a yogi, if you're getting towards liberation and removal of attachments, you're on the right path. If you're staying away from it, you're on the wrong path. So, but it's not all or nothing like that. It's like a trend. Like you'll go up, you'll go down, you go up, you go down, you go up. But then your higher part in that trend, your low part in that higher trend will be higher than your highest in the beginning. So
yes, that's like measure your. That's a Vera quote. Measure your success by
the trend
failures.
Yeah,
by your low points.
By coming back from that low points. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right, that was my blurb.
Brilliant. I like that. Emily, do you have a blurb in relation to, in relation to strength or a business in your experience?
Oh, well, I mean, connecting strength training to it, just like we found the metaphor with your, last rep within strength training, the more you push through those moments and come to the other side, whether it's a technical failure or whether you get the rep, the more you can then apply that. It'll build, layers of confidence. Either way, with the achieved rep or not, it'll build layers of confidence because you'll also be able to see that when you don't get the rep, it's okay. The whole Jenga tower didn't fall down on your head, and you'll get thicker and thicker skin to kind of move on to the next opportunity to fail.
Yeah, I love all of these analogies too. So like I feel like what I'm taking away here in that fear of success is not more about like the ultimate end goal achievement of what I think that is my definition of success. It's more of the returning or coming back from each little tiny mistake that adds up to ultimately where I'm headed. But if I'm not even putting in the effort or the commitment each day to even do the tiny little steps forward because I'm fearful, then that's the ultimate failure. It's not even trying.
Right.
Yeah. Ooh, I just thought of a quote, maybe some before, but so maybe the opposite of success is not failure, but stagnation.
Yeah. Lack of momentum.
So in that,
not evolving.
Like the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference.
Right. So I guess in that perspective, success would be growth. And failure would be stagnation.
Boom.
Mic drop.
If you want to hear an interesting, I think a correlation, a little out of topic, I think the first podcast we did was fear of failure. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's a chance.
Oh, it was imposter syndrome, wasn't it?
Imposter syndrome.
We touched on a couple different things.
Yeah. So
we talked about imposter syndrome though.
The cool cycle we made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? But yeah, I mean, it is a cycle, to recognize these the returning of these fears or challenges to ourselves within the year. We know that, there's times when we're going to be riding the highs and it's just, part, like you said, it's part of that ticker tape of progress, especially as in entrepreneurs and even in our relationships too. It's not always going to be up at the high. We're going to have to expect these changes and walkthroughs into our new selves. Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, it feels daunting to be honest, like to think about, this is, once you succeed at something and you experience success, the bar gets pushed higher. So just expect you're going to have to get your rest and gear up for the next thing around the corner.
Right.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. Honestly, this has been really helpful to me. I hope it's helpful to people who are listening to us today. I hope, and Shahar, I think you're going to get lots of fan mail coming in. So we'll have to have you come back for that.
Somebody said one.
Yeah.
You can send email to Conscious
tweets.
Collaboration Podcast.
Fan tweets
at gmail.com.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, we'll be
a celebrity. I think I can do a good job.
You're a good
if I was a celebrity.
Yeah, you just show up. You just show up and be yourself and impart all this wisdom at the right time. So
thanks for being a guest with us at the drop of a dime.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. Who knows where Emily and I would have gone with the conversation that we were having before.
Well,
so
about ways to shake it up anyway, and then you just
I think like that. Because this was the topic, I showed up.
Yeah.
I think it was Emily manifested me here.
Yeah. Well, it's a great pleasure and honor to have you. And we're going to remind everybody where to find you on. I love your Instagram reels and videos that you do, by the way.
Last time we talked, I had like 2 stuff on it.
Now he's like an Instagram influencer.
I'm an influencer.
Yeah.
You are. I mean, you show up on my feed, you're putting the energy into it. I know that's a challenge, like you were saying, to be visible and vulnerable and share a lot of your daily practices, but I look forward to them.
Yes. Great, little mini lessons.
Right. There's a video of me doing a kick in the air on the punching bag, which was very cool to see.
That was cool.
But what people didn't know, talking about getting outside your comfort zone, that in order to get that kick, I did that for 50 minutes on that punching bag. And every time was awkward. I'm like, oh, this looks like crap. Oh, this looks terrible. I did that for 50 minutes. I just got angrier and angrier the more I did it. And at some point I looked at what I had. I'm like, all right, fine. That's fine. We'll use it.
And to me, it's amazing. I love to see what, the appearances, especially on Instagram, what we see in the end output, and then seeing the behind the scenes stories of what it really took to get to that place. So, and actually thanks for sharing that. Cause I think in my mind, I thought you just show up and do these flying kicks all the time.
That's an illusion.
You can do that too.
That's a social media illusion. That's I can, but it's not how it's not what happens.
Don't put it that way.
Yeah. So we are going to be talking more about this in the Conscious Collaboration Collective on Facebook, and keep the conversation going in there. And like Emily said, you can email us to, what's our email?
Conscious Collaboration Podcast at gmail.com. Our Instagram is the same name, Conscious Collaboration Podcast. And Shahar's Instagram is at Shahar Kovetz.
And Shahar Kovetz, also my Facebook, Shahar Arjuna Kovetz, St. Pete, Tai Chi and Martial Arts Group. Facebook, Instagram, best way to reach out to me, because I'm an influencer. Who uses mail these days? As the young people say, it's a hoot.
We're gonna have to go through your assistant next time. So this was cool that you just showed up. All right, guys. Well, I look forward to the next time that we can hang out. And now, Shahar, that we know where to find you, we're going to find you all the time. So watch out. And we'll talk to you guys all in 5 minutes.
Talk to you in 5.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.